Have you ever stopped to think that, compared to many animals in Earth's history, we humans are actually pretty small? And I'm not just talking about the giant dinosaurs. Even within our own evolutionary family, there were species much larger and much smaller than us. But after all, how did humans become so small? Today, we're going to explore a story that mixes mystery, science, and even a bit of adventure on the most isolated islands on the planet. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because what you're about to discover might change the way you see our species. Our journey begins around 50,000 years ago, in a remote corner of the world, Flores Island in Indonesia. This is where archaeologists found something astonishing: fossils of a human species unknown until then. They were adults, yet stood just over 1 meter tall. The scientific name? Homo floresiensis. The nickname? Hobbits, after the small characters from J.R.R. Tolkien's work. But how is it possible for a fully grown human to be that small? The answer lies in a little-known biological principle called the island rule. It says that large animals isolated on islands with limited resources and few predators tend to shrink over generations. This has happened to elephants, hippos, and even deer. In the case of Homo floresiensis, isolation on Flores, combined with limited resources, may have caused the species to shrink into the smallest adult humans ever discovered. And don't think the story of small humans starts there. In fact, our earliest ancestors, such as Australopithecus afarensis, the famous Lucy, were also short. Lucy, for example, stood about 1 meter tall. This suggests that small size was the rule in the beginning of our evolution, not the exception. Why did this happen? The answer comes from a combination of factors. First, body size affects temperature regulation. Smaller bodies release heat faster, which is useful in hot climates. Second, smaller bodies require less food, a big advantage when resources are scarce. Third, forested and dense environments favor more agile, compact individuals. And we can't forget reproduction. In environments with high mortality, individuals who mature faster have better chances of passing on their genes. And smaller bodies tend to reach sexual maturity sooner. But if we started small, how did we reach today's sizes? Part of the answer lies in environmental and cultural changes. As our ancestors migrated into colder regions, taller and more robust bodies became advantageous for conserving heat. The discovery of fire, mastery of tools, and later, agriculture also changed our diet and lifestyle. Interestingly, agriculture brought an unexpected effect. In many regions, average height decreased. Even though farming provided more food, agricultural diets were less varied and less nutritious than those of hunter-gatherers. Plus, higher population density made diseases spread more easily, affecting growth. And it's not just the body that changed. Our brains have also gotten smaller over the past 10,000 years. The first Homo sapiens had brains about 10% larger than ours today. Some scientists believe this happened because we live in complex societies where cognitive tasks are shared among individuals and tools, reducing the need for massive brains. Now, you might be wondering, if there was evolutionary pressure to grow taller at some points, why didn't we keep growing into giants? The answer lies in physical and biological limits. The bigger a human gets, the harder it is to support their own body weight, the more energy is needed to sustain vital functions, and the greater the risks during childbirth, since larger babies require a wider birth canal. On land, it's impossible to keep growing without compromising mobility and health. Unlike animals such as whales, which use water to support their weight, we rely solely on our bones and muscles to stand upright. In short, humans became small due to a combination of evolutionary, environmental, and cultural factors. We started small because our ancestors lived in conditions that favored compact bodies. We got even smaller in certain places, like islands, because of the island rule. And even when height increased in some periods, biological limits prevented us from becoming giants. The takeaway here is that there's no single ideal human size. Our body is a direct reflection of the environment, diet, and lifestyle. The average height of humanity still changes from generation to generation, and it could change again in the future. If you enjoyed this journey into the past and want more fascinating stories about our species, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. Who knows? Maybe in the future, the question won't be, why are we so small? But, why were we so big? See you next time.